Social. I'm now Obozeghie. Now, unfortunately, a pregnant woman in a tricycle operator in the Okota area of Lagos State lost their lives to an incident yesterday in that area. Now, it was said that the Lagos State traffic officer attached to the Lagos State said that the Lagos State traffic officer that was attached to that area in the Agbo Palace area offered to escort a driver who was arrested for driving against traffic. That's one way to last month's office for proper booking. According to Lasma on X, the driver tried to escape when he drove into a street off the way to their office. They didn't add what the police officer did to stop the driver from running away, but according to some eyewitnesses on social media, the officer was dragging the steering with the driver. Apparently, it was presumed that the car owner would act funny. Now a pregnant woman is gone. A Kekena pep rider is gone. The affected children are battling for their lives under intensive care units in the hospital they were rushed to, and the police said they've commenced investigation into the matter. Now, that was it yesterday, and Agbo Palace trended all through yesterday. Let's see how some netizens found this. Slick Killer says, "Dear Jide Sanwo-Olu," that's attaching the governor of Lagos State. He said, "Last man is supposed to direct traffic and tow broken down vehicles to safety, not impound vehicles, let alone dragging steering wheels or key with motorists. Last man should take the details of vehicles of any traffic offender and send to road safety corps." Also in reaction, Olariwaji says, "I'm sorry, but all the gadgets for tracking available now when the driver was dragging with your officials. Why didn't they just let him go and you all can safely arrest him later? You've got his license plates. Why must everything have to be by force with us?" Also in reaction, it says, "I mean, just common sense to resolve a matter that isn't even criminal. Traffic offense. Now people are dead. Who will be charged with involuntary manslaughter now? I wonder. Our enforcement officers need proper training." And Smiling Sailor says, "When Lagos State government took away vehicles of those who drove against traffic, they called Sanwo-Olu wicked. I hope you guys are happy now." Well, it was really an unfortunate situation yesterday in Lagos. But let's see what the police would present as their report, like finding from their investigation from this. And then a senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Temitope Ajayi, has called out former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for overlooking his friendship with the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and subjecting him, that's Tinubu, to the level of assault he has by requesting for his Chicago State University records. Ajayi on his X account wonders how Atiku demonstrated a behavior that is not different from biting the fingers that have fed you in the past, all in the pursuit of what he called earthly position. Now, he wrote on Twitter yesterday, or X if you prefer it that way, and he says, "For me, the issue is not whether President Tinubu graduated from Chicago State University or not. It is the fact that former Vice President Atiku is not a decent man. Nobody should subject his or her friend to the level of assault and indignity he has subjected President Tinubu to because of earthly positions and contestation for power." He continued to say that we are talking of a Tinubu that had moved mountains for Atiku in the past, a Tinubu that offered Atiku a shelter when he was thoroughly beaten by rain and stripped naked by President Obasanjo and his party PDP in 2007. No friend should become what Ekiti people call Ale Ini Modein, a relentless pursuer like former Vice President Atiku, regardless of the price. In reaction to this, Toby says, "Tell the presidency, politics is not played with emotions. Tinubu should have some shame and kindly get out of Aso Rock." Frank says, when you listen to this group of people, you can easily tell they speak from the point of their stomach infrastructure. How can you say Atiku is humiliating Tinubu when Tinubu is the one who forged a certificate that has brought humiliation to a nation of over 200 million people? For Akin, he says it's better not to even reveal all secrets to a supposed friend. Imagine if Bola Ahmed Tinubu hadn't attended Chicago State University and confided in Atiku Abubakar in 2007. Now, so Atiku Abubakar for Boston. Better to run stuff solo than involve friends, please. And for Salawu, he says we have to understand that friends who possess the same interest might betray one another in the future if feud arises. And this just makes me remember what Apostle Suleiman would say almost all the time, that pastors are the enemies of pastors, politicians, enemy of politicians. Like, someone in your field is definitely your enemy, if that is anything to go by. But yes, accountability is the order of the day and should be prioritized. Now, the Public Relations Officer of the Delta State Police Command, Bright Edafe, has clarified that indecent dressing is not considered an offense, and therefore no law enforcement officer should arrest individuals based on their clothing choices. Edafe emphasized that the need to address the matter publicly because of the frequent complaints of harassment from the public, particularly from Delta residents.
Complaints that members of the public, particularly residents in Delta State, have been harassed by sometimes vigilantes, anti-courts, hunters association, and some recalcitrant police officers. I want to make it very clear that on the issue of dress code, improper dressing, boys carrying dreadlock, wearing earring, girls wearing bob shorts, miniskirt, or girls going out without bra, it is not an offense. That circular was debunked by the state government. Hence, no policeman or vigilante or anti-court or anybody can harass you for that. My number is 081-310-70122. If you call me and I don't pick, kindly send a text message. And if they insist that it is an offense, you yourself, you should insist that you want that matter to be taken to the police station. When you get to the police station, you will be able to reach out to me. However, I really want you to know that it is not an offense.
That's Bright Edafe, the spokesperson for the police command in Delta State. But the police force has also reiterated that Nigerians must report any form or any one of their men who requests to search their phones, saying that the behavior is considered unprofessional and a violation of personal privacy. I mean, this has been in the news 1,001 times. Let's see how this is going down on the space of social media with reactions. Okosisi says, we know that already, but what option do we have if your colleagues insist on the arrests? For Prosper, he says, I think they should be directed to the police officers because they seem not to be conversant with this rule. This is not the first time we're hearing this. Yet, officers still search phones, and when you try to resist them, they will assault you. For Lawi, it says, yes, it's not an offense, but what happens to morals, values, and customs, then traditions? That's reacting to the dress code that is not a sin. For Flora, it says, please, before you start quoting laws and arguing with any police that wants to search your phone, please make sure it is in a public space. Some police don't mind to throw away your phone and waste you. I mean, this is said to be the order of the day, even with what authorities say to their men. They come to the field to do something entirely different. To our final story, Pope Francis seems to have reversed his stance on same-sex marriage, as he's suggesting that even though it will not be recognized by the church because it is objectively a sin, the Catholic Church may proceed to bless same-sex unions because the church is not expected to judge or practice exclusion for personal choices. He maintains that a marriage can only be between a man and a woman, and that is what will be recognized as a marriage. And the new stance of the church blessing same-sex unions must not be generalized, as it should be on a case-by-case basis, depending on the charity of the pastor of the church. Let's have briefly what he said. After he agreed or restated that a marriage must be between one man and one woman, he says, however, in relationships with people, we must not lose the pastoral charity, which should permeate all our decisions and attitudes. The defense of objective truth is not the only expression of this charity. It also includes kindness, patience, understanding, tenderness, and encouragement. Therefore, we cannot be judges who only deny, reject, and exclude. For when a blessing is requested, it is expressing a plea to God for help, a supplication to live better, although there are situations that are not morally acceptable from an objective point of view. The same pastoral charity requires us not to simply treat as sinners other people whose guilt or responsibility may be mitigated by various factors affecting subjective accountability. So don't push them away. In reaction to this user says, imagine his own word is contradicting each other. Why bless them when no, you will not recognize them or acknowledge them to be married? Stop playing with our sense now. And Mark James says, this is a very heavy decision you took, but if you were not God to judge them, let's allow them choose the religion that supports their act, not twisting us to their favor. And also in reaction, this user says, law, like Anglican Church, I see Nigerian Catholics separating from the Western Catholics. This I have seen. But responding to that user is Arinze Chukwu, who says, no, sir, we would rather remove the Pope than separate. We are the Catholic Church, founded by Christ himself. We are one. We are apostolic. We are universal.